Early humans heard both external and internal sounds, which led them to create and repeat words. Over time, these words shaped their experiences and were eventually recorded for memory. Some words conveyed gentleness or urgency, while others expressed concepts like love or even defined feelings about God. Repetition of these words shaped identity and prompted the development of written language for memory. Words conveyed various emotions, from affection to urgency, and were even created to express concepts like oneness, compassion, unity, and divinity, often inspired by mystical experiences. They created names for God inspired by epiphanic spiritual encounters, using sound as a spiritual tool. The pronunciation and intonation of these names reflected the vibrational energy felt in expressing certain words or phrases. These mantras emerged not from external evaluations, but from what some refer to as internal investigations. They began expressing their feelings as well as their thoughts, leading to the creation of music, poetry, and song lyrics written on materials like stone, papyrus, and cave walls. Sound is considered a powerful spiritual tool because of its energy and vibration. Naming uses vocalization, as reflected in the phrase in John's Gospel. In the beginning was the Logos, where logos means word in ancient Greek, and highlights the energetic impact of naming and sounding out carefully formulated mantras or phrases. Christ addressed his Father by naming him as Abba, an Aramaic term. St. Paul echoes this naming of the name in Romans, stating the Holy Spirit leads believers to call out Abba, Father, just as Christ did in Gethsemane. He instructs his Gentile followers to address God as Christ did, using the same sacred word, Abba, to experience the same vibrational force and energy of the Holy Spirit. This highlights how the Gospel offers a new wineskin, a distinct sound compared to the sound of pagan religion's thunder god in the sky. The Gospel is associated with sacred sounds, as illustrated by the sound of a mighty rushing wind at Pentecost and the opening line of Amazing Grace, "How sweet the sound." Browsing platforms such as Instagram or YouTube Shorts highlights the diversity of spiritual traditions and their sacred music. Faiths including Judaism, Islam, Christianity, and various Eastern practices all incorporate inspirational poetry and musical sounds into their rituals or services. A commonality among these traditions is the frequent use of original languages to seek authentic inspiration. They are all seeking not only the original meaning, but also the pronunciation of its sound. However, some religions are marked by harsh superstitions and threats, while the true gospel offers a new song in new wineskins. It leads not to the sound of thunder of Mount Sinai, but to the sweet sound of the gospel proclaimed from Mount Zion. The phrase, "the sound of a still small voice," refers to a gentle, quiet, and subtle way in which God is believed to communicate with individuals, particularly in the Christian and Jewish traditions. It is often contrasted with more dramatic or forceful manifestations of divine presence, like wind, earthquakes, or fire. The phrase, "he spoke as in the sound of many waters," is a metaphor used in the book of Revelation to describe a powerful, majestic, and awe-inspiring voice, and signifies the authority, power, and the far-reaching impact as the mystic recalls particularly the sound of that voice. Regardless of your spiritual beliefs, scientific evidence suggests that even simple acts like humming a tune or a hymn can be significant because they affect the vagus nerve and promote a sense of calm throughout the body. Humming creates vibrations in the throat and chest, which stimulate the vagus nerve. The vagus nerve is a key component of the parasympathetic nervous system. Activating the vagus nerve through humming mantras or hymns promotes relaxation. This can lead to decreased stress, lower heart rate, and improved mood. Studies now show that humming mantras or hymns can increase heart rate variability, HRV, a measure of the flexibility and resilience of the heart to adapt to stress. Higher HRV is associated with better overall health. Humming, particularly at a low pitch and with sufficient intensity, has been shown to significantly increase the production of nitric oxide in the nasal passages. Nitric oxide plays a role in various bodily functions, including blood flow regulation and immune response. The science of singing or humming sacred mantras, such as Hu, in Jewish and Muslim Sufi traditions, can naturally stimulate the vagus nerve, leading to relaxation, stress relief, and enhanced well-being. It offers an accessible way to manage stress and promote calmness. St. Paul describes making melody in your heart to the Lord, or singing in the Spirit, rather than solely with one's understanding, as practices that invite the Holy Spirit to be present and fill believers. For 5 decades as an evangelist in Indianapolis and Los Angeles, my goal has been to present an alternative to rigid religious teachings, guiding others toward a gentler, more uplifting spiritual experience. Its purpose is to guide individuals toward experiencing the sound of a mighty rushing wind, the sound of a still, small voice, and the melody of the hymn, Amazing Grace. How sweet the sound. I've learned various popular mantras from global spiritual traditions, and all effectively stimulate the vagus nerve. One notable example is the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, which some suggest may have effects such as stimulating the vagus nerve even more so, and influencing more effectively the energy flow of all 7 primary energy centers, chakras. Currently, my YouTube channel has attracted 300,000 viewers interested in learning the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic, and, from my estimates, over 60,000 of them have successfully learned it in its entirety. They aim to approximate the original Aramaic pronunciation Christ used. While exact pronunciation is at times uncertain, this approach gets much closer to the sacred sounds and feeling of Aramaic than English does. Numerous testimonials in the comments section of my YouTube channel demonstrate the impact of learning the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic. Empirical experiences among this group of practitioners have suggested that scientific studies using tools like the Lord's Prayer in Aramaic may be associated with promoting a more effective spiritual and healthy lifestyle. Nikola Tesla's famous quote states, "If you want to find the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration." This quote relates to how frequency and vibration, as experienced in chanting mantras or humming hymns, influence the vagus nerve and the body's energy centers. Tesla believed that everything vibrates, and understanding these concepts can deepen our grasp of reality beyond its physical form. In conclusion, I encourage you to verify everything for yourself. You don't need to learn an entire prayer in Aramaic. Starting with a simple 2-letter word, like the word Hu, used in Aramaic, Hebrew, and Arabic, is enough. Try humming Hu to the tune of Somewhere Over the Rainbow or Amazing Grace. Both are effective. The creation of sacred sounds formulated in mantras has been attributed to practices involving internal reflection or internal investigations from spiritual masters all throughout the centuries of civilization. Explore their spiritual insights, especially what Christ introduced through the Lord's Prayer in his original language. Humming Hu is an effective method for exploring how Aramaic can serve as a powerful mantra to stimulate and engage the vagus nerve within the throat. Once again, hum to Somewhere Over the Rainbow or Amazing Grace. Pick one. Both are effective.